The secrets behind the world's finest alcoholic spirits all boil down to one simple recipe. Mix grain and water, then ferment and distill. Add a few hundred years of tradition, and you begin to understand why alcohol is still the world's favourite tipple. The principle of distillation was known to ancient Romans who mastered the process. In the Middle Ages, stills produced the first alcohols from wine. In the 7th century, the distillation process was improved. And by the 15th century, the process was further refined, leading to the production of today's spirits, such as brandy, vodka, rum, bourbon and whiskey. Dried corn kernels is the main grain used in making spirits. At this distillery, 7 truckloads empty out 230 tons every day. The kernels are stored in these 24-metre-high silos, which can hold up to 250 tons. This is the distillery control room, where they manage a recipe that's 95% corn and produces neutral alcohol, to which other grains for colour and flavour will be added. The first step is the milling of the grain. Some 8 tons of corn flour and 18,000 litres of water are introduced into this autoclave and steam cooked for 90 minutes. Enzymes transform starch into sugar. Then they add the yeasts, which convert sugar into alcohol. Fermentation lasts 60 hours at 38 degrees centigrade. The bubbling we see is created by the action of the yeasts. Some 24 hours have now passed since the start of fermentation. When this stage is ended, corn oil will have come to the surface and is clearly visible by its reddish colour. The fermented mash has a 13% alcohol content. They now move on to the next step, distillation, which condenses the vapours of the mix. It's in this 3-column distillation system, at a temperature of 85.5 degrees, that the mash ferments and is distilled by steam to separate the alcohol. During distillation, they dry the grains used in the recipe in this rotating drum. The resulting product is called draff, and it will be used to make animal feed. Distillation is now ended. To aromatize certain gins, they add dried lemon skins, some cinnamon or coriander. Rum and whiskey will be aged in oak barrels. While aging, these spirits will lose about 3% of their alcohol content annually through evaporation. Also, the colour gradually darkens. They're now ready to draw out the liquid from the barrels and put it into bottles. But first they have to verify the quality of the spirits. They compare the standard product with the new production. This test is highly important in order to assure the quality of the final product. And so bottling begins. Here 140 bottles of light rum are filled every minute. Clean bottles circulate continually on the conveyor, leading them to the filling machine. Places caps on the bottles and crimps them onto the necks. The then sealed and labelled bottles head for the packaging department. This other machine fills 120 bottles of Canadian whiskey every minute. In this distillery, some 20 different spirits are produced. With 34,000 tons of corn kernels, they produce 44 million bottles of spirits every year. Cheers!